The reason why so many traders fail is because they lack the mindset, psychology, and ability to think in terms of probabilities. Consistent winners think without emotion. They trade from a confident, disciplined, and consistent state of mind. I don't think I could put the difference between consistent winners and everyone else more simply than this. The best traders aren't afraid. They aren't afraid because they have developed attitudes that give them the greatest degree of mental flexibility to flow in and out of trades based on what the market is telling them at that present moment. Technical and fundamental analysis can only take us so far. Being able to adopt the right mental state and therefore trade in the zone is the differentiating factor. A book I highly recommend is Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. It emphasizes that in order to be a successful trader, you need to trade from a carefree, objective state of mind, where you are making yourself available to perceive and act upon whatever the market is offering you from its perspective in any given now moment. Carefree means confident, but not euphoric. When you're in a carefree state of mind, you won't feel any fear, hesitation, or compulsion to do anything, because you've effectively eliminated the potential to define and interpret market information as threatening. When you not only understand but accept the risks, you will then be at peace with any trading outcome. This carefree state of mind is similar to the state of mind many great athletes describe as being in a zone. If you ever had the occasion to experience the zone in some sport, then you know it is a state of mind in which there is absolutely no fear and you act and react instinctively. You don't weigh alternatives or consider consequences or second guess yourself. You're in the moment and doing exactly what needs to be done. This is what they call entering the zone. Every good trader needs to take complete responsibility for the decisions they make and the actions they take. Taking absolute responsibility means that the outcome is self-generated, meaning the results are based on your own interpretations of market information. And win or lose, you ultimately made the trade. Otherwise, you will establish an adversarial relationship with the market that takes you out of the constant flow of opportunities. You will also mislead yourself into believing that your trading problems and lack of success can be rectified through market analysis. Although it may feel as if you are fighting the market, the reality is you are simply fighting the negative consequences of not fully accepting that the market owes you nothing. If you want to start sensing the flow of the market, your mind has to be relatively free of fear, anger, regret, betrayal, despair, and disappointment. You won't have a reason to experience these negative emotions when you assume absolute responsibility. Earlier, I said that when you don't take responsibility, one of the major psychological obstacles that can block your success is that you will mislead yourself into believing that your trading problems and lack of consistency can be rectified through market analysis. The typical trader might go on a knowledge quest, learning about trend lines, chart patterns, support and resistance, Fibonacci retracements, oscillators, and many more technical tools too numerous to mention. Curiously, even though his knowledge has increased, he now finds that he's developed problems executing his trades. He hesitates, second guesses himself, or doesn't put on a trade at all in spite of clear signals to do so. He's made a dramatic shift in his perspective from carefree to preventing pain by avoiding losses through gaining market knowledge. He's no longer focused on just winning, but rather on how he can avoid pain by preventing the market from hurting him again. This kind of negative perspective is similar to an athlete who is only focused on trying not to make mistakes, not how to win. The more he tries not to make mistakes, the more mistakes he makes. The more he learns, the more he will naturally expect from the markets, making it all the more painful when the markets don't do their part. So he remains in this vicious cycle in the pursuit of acquiring more knowledge to prevent pain. And this continues until he either accepts the reality of uncertainty or he quits trading altogether. However, when he recognizes that the root cause of his trading problems is his perspective, not his market knowledge, He will be in the best frame of mind to act in his own best interests, to enter and exit trades and perceive the endless stream of opportunities without self-criticism, hesitation, or regret. Ultimately, the worst consequence of not taking responsibility is that it keeps you in a cycle of pain and dissatisfaction. You believe to some degree that the market creates your outcomes, not the other way around. Think about it for a moment. If you're not responsible for your results, then you can assume there's nothing more for you to learn, and the market is to blame. The most efficient path to discovering what you need to be successful is to develop a winning attitude, a positive expectation of your efforts with an acceptance that whatever results you get are a perfect reflection of your level of development and what you need to learn to do better. If you shift the blame in order to block the painful feelings that result from beating yourself up, all you've done is put a band-aid on the wound. You may think you have solved the problem, but the problem is only going to resurface later, worse than before. Remember, only you are responsible for developing your own winning attitude. The market's not going to do it for you, and no amount of market analysis will compensate for developing a winning attitude if you lack one. When you stop fighting the market, which in effect means you stop fighting yourself, you'll be amazed at how quickly you'll recognize exactly what you need to learn and how quickly you'll learn it. You will find out that taking responsibility is a cornerstone of a winning attitude. And what separates the best traders from everyone else is not what they do or when they do it, but rather how they think about what they do and how they're thinking when they do it. So, the real question is, how do you think about trading in such a way that you're no longer afraid and therefore no longer susceptible to the mental processes that cause you to block, obscure, or pick and choose information? The answer is simple. Learn to accept the risks. Accepting the risks means accepting the consequences of your trades without emotional discomfort or fear. It means you must learn how to think about trading in your relationship with the markets in such a way that the possibility of being wrong, losing, missing out, or leaving money on the table doesn't cause your mental defense mechanisms to kick in and take you out of the opportunity flow. When fear is involved, you'll act on your perception of information and your behavior in a way that will cause you to create the very experience you fear the most, the one you are trying to avoid. When you make yourself available to take advantage of an opportunity, you don't impose any limitations or expectations on the market's behavior. Rather, you let the market unfold and make yourself available to take advantage of whatever situations you define as opportunities. You are satisfied to let the market do whatever it's going to do. The market will then create certain conditions you define and perceive as opportunities. You act on those opportunities to the best of your ability, but your state of mind is not dependent upon or affected by the market's behavior. When the internal struggle ends, everything becomes easy. At that point, you can take full advantage of all your skills, analytical or otherwise, to eventually realize your potential as a trader. If I were to summarize the traits of successful traders, it would be like this. To trade without fear or overconfidence. To perceive and act on what the market is offering from its perspective. Staying completely focused in the now moment opportunity flow. And spontaneously entering the zone where the trader has evolved to the point where they believe without a shred of doubt that anything can happen. With the perspective of making yourself available, you know that your edge places the odds of success in your favor. But at the same time, you completely accept the fact that you don't know the outcome of any particular trade. Adopting this perspective leaves your mind free of internal resistance that can prevent you from perceiving whatever opportunity the market is making available from its perspective, its truth. Your mind is then open for an exchange of energy. Not only can you learn something about the market that you previously didn't know, but you also set up the mental condition most conducive to entering the zone. The essence of what it means to be in the zone is that your mind and the market are in sync. As a result, you sense what the market is about to do, as if there is no separation between yourself and the collective consciousness of everyone else participating in the market. The zone is a mental space where you're doing more than just reading the collective mind. You're also in complete harmony with it. Traders who have experience being tapped into the collective consciousness of the market can anticipate a change in direction, just as a bird in the middle of a flock or a fish in the middle of a school will turn at the precise moment that all of the others turn. Then you will understand why your ultimate success as a trader cannot be realized until you develop a resolute, unshakable belief in uncertainty. Good traders define trading as a probability game, where their emotional responses to the outcome of any particular trade are equivalent to how someone would feel about flipping a coin, calling heads, and seeing the coin come up tails. They have learned and completely accepted the fact that they don't know what's going to happen next. More importantly, they don't need to know in order to make money consistently. Here's a trading paradox. How does a trader learn to be rigid and flexible at the same time? The answer is we have to be rigid in our rules and flexible in our expectations. How do I know this? Because only the best traders consistently predefine their risk before entering a trade. Only the best traders cut their losses without reservation or hesitation when the market tells them the trade isn't working. And only the best traders have an organized, systematic money management regimen for taking profits when the market goes in the direction of their trade. Not predefining your risk, not cutting your losses, or not systematically taking profits are three of the most common and usually the most costly trading errors you can make. Only the best traders have eliminated these errors from their trading. You will then be able to say that you are a consistent winner because I objectively identify my edges. I predefine the risk of every trade. I completely accept risk or I'm willing to let go of the trade. I act on my edges without reservation or hesitation. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. I continually monitor my susceptibility for making errors. I understand the absolute necessity of these principles of consistent success, and therefore I never violate them. Learning to be a consistent winner as a trader isn't any different. I wish you great prosperity and good luck, but you really won't need luck if you work at acquiring the appropriate skills. Still, good luck.